Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 19 of 1000. Today, we will be considering the topic: Is your small business struggling? Here is what you're missing. Now, starting a business, it's like conceiving a baby. And sometimes, if you imagine a woman having a baby, and then in 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, the baby hasn't crawled, the baby is still in bed, it's not doing very well, the baby is malnourished, um, the baby hasn't developed language even at 7 years. Who would like to have that kind of baby? Anyone? Definitely not. So it feels that way with business. And then for everyone here who has started a business, you can tell how personal that business usually is to you. It's like a baby. So I can only imagine the frustration that many small business owners face when they start a business and then they have been in the business for 4 years. It's still a side hustle. They've been in the business for 10 years, for 15 years, for 20 years, and the business is still struggling. So as you come into the session, tell me in the comment section, how long you've run your current business. If you have a business, say in the comment section how many years you have been in business. So today we'll be looking at what is missing, why many small businesses struggle, and what you can do about it. And these are the countries currently represented in our live sessions, which will happen. Today is day 19, so we have about 800 and is that 81 days left? Okay, in the 1000 days that we are doing live coaching. So if your country is not here, if you don't see your country's flag, please type it in the comment section and we will update it. Now, why am I doing this? For some of you who are joining for the very first time, why this and why now? And then what gives me the audacity to want to do such a big, hairy, audacious goal, such as 1000 days non-stop of live business coaching? Well, so my name is Ogbo Awoke Ogbo, like many of you do know. And what gives me the audacity? I have had incredible experience, incredible career. I've actually experienced the whole spectrum from 0 to 100, when it comes to career. And then in several experiences, when it comes to personal finance, to money, I have gone from the scale of 0 all the way to 10. So I feel the spectrum. I can look at you and tell exactly how you're doing financially. I can't be fooled by the things people post on social media. Why? Because I have gone through that entire spectrum. And I've had the remarkable privilege of working with Stanford University through the Stanford Seed program, where I served as business advisor. I also adjunct at Lagos Business School and the China Europe International Business School. So I have had incredible privilege to work with hundreds of businesses and literally thousands of business owners. I have been on live TV for 5 years, doing what I'm doing with you tonight. But what I'm actually most proud of is having a loving family. I am so grateful for the wife I have and for the amazing children that came out of that marriage, who are doing incredible things in different parts of the world where they are. And what is in this experience for you? 3 things that we will be focusing on throughout this experience in the next 1000 days. Number one is to help you develop financial skills, strategies to become financially independent, so that you will no longer be limited by time or by money or by location. The second thing that we are focusing on is building businesses. This is why we are holding a session like the one we are having tonight. Why can't our businesses be like Amazon? So Amazon started his business, Jeff Bezos started his business in 1994. And by this year, 2024, he has become an incredible phenomenon. Amazon is an incredible phenomenon, and they literally ship to all parts of the world. I can stay in my village and order things, and then Amazon will send it right here from their Seattle warehouse. That is incredible. But again, many businesses started at the same time with Amazon. And some of you here may have also started business in 1994. So, but while Amazon is a $1 trillion business today, our businesses are still struggling to pay our employees and to pay our suppliers. So we want to change that. The third thing that's going to happen to you as you participate in this life coaching is building a loving family. I am very, very family oriented. Indeed, I say that family is everything. Because you see, I was listening to a podcast yesterday. A gentleman was being interviewed. I don't remember if it was Robin Sharma, because I listen to so many podcasts on YouTube. And then many of you know Robin Sharma, the monk who sold his Ferrari, author. And in the interview, they mentioned something about the billionaires. So many billionaires he has mentored, he's worked with, and then heads of state and really important government people. And he said these people are rich in money, but that their children don't talk to them. They have very, very disappointing family life. And so he was talking about the 8 kinds of wealth, the 8 forms of wealth. And many people only know money, but there are other forms of wealth. So that's why we're going to be focusing also a third of our time on family, marriage, on relationships. And if you haven't watched the previous versions, the previous days, because today is day 19, meaning that we already have 18 episodes in the gallery. This is so rich. I will encourage you to go to my YouTube channel and watch all of them and make notes and do the exercises that are in those episodes. For today's session, at the end of this session, you will be able to pinpoint the exact reason that your business is struggling. You will be left in no doubt, because I think there is a bigger problem when your business is struggling and you don't know why. Because if you don't know the root cause of a problem, you cannot begin to develop a plan to address them. Okay? Second thing you're going to walk out of this session with is you are going to enhance your leadership and decision-making skills, because business success is all about leadership, and it's all about decision-making, because you are making decisions every single day as a business owner, and the quality of your decisions is going to directly impact on the quality of your outcome, whether your business is stagnating or whether you revive it. And then thirdly, you will master effective marketing strategies to increase your cash flow and revitalize your business. In working with hundreds of businesses, I have discovered that very few businesses even budget for marketing. And marketing is a very strategic activity. If you're not marketing, you cannot grow. All right, so let's take it one after the other. So the first thing we're going to do is to actually recap what we said in the previous episode. That's episode 18. So we will recap why businesses stagnate, and then based on why businesses stagnate, we will now start talking about what to do about them. As you join, introduce yourself in the comment. Everyone, introduce yourself in the comment section, and I would like you to also hit that share button right now. That share, hit the share button. And then if you are getting value, please hit the love button, and then share with your network, because what we are discussing today, if everybody succeeds, everybody will be happy at the same time, because so many small businesses are struggling and they do not know what to do with it. They cannot afford me. They cannot afford a coach like myself, one-on-one. But I'm able to do this, for you, so that people can actually, what people pay me in the business schools and what private clients pay me, I am giving to you for free. So the least you can do is share it with others. Just hit that share. Let as many people as possible join us in this session. So please hit the share button right now. Hit the share button, everyone, and share to your network and let them come join us, because everyone needs to listen to this. Okay? And then, of course, introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and tell us where you're watching from in the comment section, because one of the things I want to do in this community is to build a network of people watching from the US, watching from Ghana, watching from South Africa, watching from India, watching from Pakistan, watching from all those places, from Brazil. And I checked the other day, we have people watching from different parts of Europe. So let's begin to build a trusted community so that we can build a value chain and do businesses for one another. So hit that share button right now. All right, so let's recap on why businesses stagnate. Why businesses begin to stagnate. When you watch that your baby, no, how do they put it? Your something baby, you watch your, the business you started, okay? Which is like your, how did they put it again? Baby something. And then you're watching it stagnate. It's not working, it's dying. It's a very terrible feeling. So let's recap. We said there are 7 key reasons why businesses stagnate. The first one is businesses stagnate when they run out of cash. Cash is the blood of business. The moment you run out of cash, your business will begin to stagnate. And then if you continue to remain without cash, the business will die. There's no two ways about it. Just the way that if you remove blood from the human body, that human being will die. If you remove cash flow from your business, the business will die. Secondly, businesses stagnate when customers stop buying. It makes sense. Because you see, if the customers stop working into your store, if they stop visiting your website, if they stop coming to your e-commerce website, then your business will stagnate, because like I keep telling us, your customer is the business. And in fact, that bears repeating, because what we are going to do later has a lot to do with the customer. So type in the comment section, my customer is my business. Type in the comment section, everyone, my customer is my business. Because I told you during one of those episodes, Peter Drucker gave us a classic quote when he said that the purpose of a business is to create and to keep a customer. Therefore, if you are not creating customers, your business is stagnating. So type in the comment section, my customer is my business. I really want you to feel that, in the deepest part of it, that my customer is my business. And so there's a whole lot of relationship between the way you treat your customer and then your business stagnation. Because if you keep treating your customers unfairly, you keep ignoring them, you keep ignoring and disrespecting your customers, and you don't design your product, you don't design your services based on your customers, your businesses will begin to go down. So type in the chat, my customer is my business. So anytime you go out there and then somebody asks you, what business do you do? Tell them that I do customers. That's your business, because your customer is your business. The third reason why businesses stagnate is when the leadership begins to decline. When the leadership lacks vision and direction, when you hire wrong leaders or you do not have well-trained leadership team, the business will begin to stagnate. The number 4 reason, as I shared with us the last time, why businesses stagnate is when there are operational inefficiencies that are not being addressed, especially if you have waste. There are 8 sources of waste. We are going to deal with that in a separate episode. But there are 8 sources of waste in a business. And then for some of you who have done the Lean program certification, like I did, Lean Sigma certification, you know that there are 8 ways, and it's called MUDA. And so if your business has waste, has MUDA, and then you're wasteful, is draining your resources, and then if your overhead cost is high, it's going to be bleeding your profitability. It's going to swallow your margin, and therefore your business will start dying when there are operational inefficiencies. Then the 5th reason that businesses stagnate, because I'm mentioning this so that you will be aware of that in your own business. And if I touch on any of them that affects your own business or is affecting your business right now, type it in the comment section that this is dealing with your business right now. This is affecting your business right now. Because the 5th reason that businesses stagnate is they fail to innovate. They do not bring new ideas to the customers. And you see, Apple is in business because they constantly innovate. Microsoft is still in business. If you look at all these big businesses that we are talking about, they are all in business because they constantly innovate. And they constantly, like Amazon, they are buying up new companies because they want to boost their innovation. Remember that just a few years ago, WhatsApp was a completely separate business. Instagram was a completely separate business. And then Facebook bought Instagram. And then they later bought WhatsApp. I forget the figure, but for some crazy $19 billion or something like that, they paid that for WhatsApp. Why did they do that? Because you see, sometimes, big businesses do not innovate as fast. They do not have the nimbleness that you have as a small business. So what they do is they look out for small businesses that are really innovative, doing some awesome things that are really like 10 years ahead, and then they pay big money for them. That's what is happening all around. Because businesses, they know they will fail, they will start stagnating when they do not innovate again. Facebook would have been a thing of the past, if not for constant innovation. Businesses stagnate also, number 6, when employees are demotivated, when the morale in the company is very low and there's lack of engagement, because productivity will go down. And then people will start leaving because the workplace becomes toxic. All right. Okay, so let's acknowledge a few of you who are joining. Fuzli Abrahams, good to have you here. Anya Diego and Anthony. Akere Agnes Apili, good to have you here. Jack Zingirai, good to have you. Willis Kaliebi, thank you for joining. Ume Favor, thank you for being here. Today we are looking at how small businesses struggle and what they can do about it. And then we are going to make it very, very practical. And then you will work out with things you can actually begin to do with your team the very next day. Yes, Princess Umayadi, that's what I was looking for. Brainchild. Yes, Brainchild. Thank you very much, Princess. You are amazing. All right. So you started the business and then it's your brainchild. And then when watching your brainchild die or stagnate is a very frustrating experience, for businesses. That's why we have to talk about it. And then the statistic is very, very shocking of businesses that are stagnating, of businesses that are, failing. Small businesses, they do not have the kind of supportive environment in most countries. I don't know what it is in Pakistan. I think I see a few Pakistanis, with us today. I don't know what it is in some other countries, but in Nigeria, for instance, there's literally a very, very suffocating environment for small businesses. So it's like as the business is being born, it's dying, at the same time, because the government does not have enabling environment to allow small businesses to grow. This is why this conversation tonight is very important. I remember starting a juice bar business, and then we were producing and selling healthy smoothies and then fruit juices and things like that. So we were in a certain state in Nigeria. We opened in a certain state in Nigeria. And then you better believe it that within the first week, going into the second week, the government sent their tax people, to us. We hadn't even sold. We had just invested in equipment, in the facility and things like that. So there are so many things that force small businesses out of business. And you have to be very, very skilled to be able to deal with it. Number 7, businesses stagnate when people fail to adapt to the market. All right. So this is a recap. So what are we going to do right now? We want to use the remaining time to now talk about how do you develop. If your business is sliding, if your business is dying, if your business is stagnating, how do you develop a revitalization plan? Everybody type in the chat revitalization plan, because that's what we want to talk about. Type in the comment revitalization plan. If that is too mouthful for you, type recovery plan, business recovery plan. Everybody type it in the comment section, business recovery plan, because many times small business owners know how to start a business. Startup entrepreneurs, they know how to start a business, but they do not know what to do when that business begins to stagnate. They do not know how to revitalize the business. And then if you have read E-Myth Mastery, you will discover, the thesis of that book is that the fact, for instance, that you cook well does not necessarily mean that you're going to be a good restaurant operator. So many times people don't know how to prepare for challenges in their business. So when they start stagnating, they give up. So recovery plan, revitalization plan, everyone will walk out of a clear understanding of how to put life back into your business, to put energy, to put the fire back into your business. When you started this brainchild, you had lots of passion. You had great dreams, to make it work really, really, really well. But things are now going south. The economy is hitting your business hard. Inflation, high employee turnover, and then sometimes your employees have all abandoned ship and then traveled or immigrated to the West, and then you can't find talent, and then the business is struggling. This is why you need a revitalization plan. At this point, if you have not shared this, please go ahead and share that, because I really want a lot of people, a lot of small business owners. I work in that space, so I know what small business owners are going through. And I will hate that anyone who runs a business and is struggling should miss what I'm about to share. So please hit that share button and then let all your people get to know about it and then join the live event. So let's get into the recovery plan. And then I'm going to first of all give you one of my favorite quotes of all time. And this quote was by the late Jack Welch, former CEO of GE. He actually turned the company around with his magic touch. So he was a very, very well-respected director all over the world, and he was filled with a lot of wisdom. Now, I want you to screenshot this quote because you're going to need it all the time. This is why, and I'm going to explain why it is powerful. Jack Welch said, if I had to run a company on 3 measures, those measures will be: number 1, customer satisfaction; number 2, employee satisfaction; and number 3, cash flow. Why am I showing you this quote? Because to revitalize your business, in fact, even if you just get this, that's going to be the fulcrum. This is the climax of the whole thing. So you do not need to work on 1,000 metrics. You do not need to work on 10,000, because there are all kinds of metrics. Sales metrics are in the thousands, operations metrics are in the hundreds, marketing metrics, HR metrics, all kinds of metrics in running a company. But this man said if he only had 3 to run a company, it would be customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and cash flow. And I would like to pause to make sure that this sinks. Everyone, please type these 3 metrics, these 3 measures. Make a note of it. Type it in the comment section. Type it in the comment section. Customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and cash flow. Make sure you are typing it. I've always explained to you that one way to make sure that you internalize what you're learning is to take action, micro action. As you're learning, if there's an aha moment or something that really hits you at a very, very sweet spot, something that makes your day, something that makes you go, aha, type it in the comment section. Interact with the content. So these micro actions will make it very, very easy for you to recall and to act on later. That action, micro action, actually gets this insight into your subconscious so that you now own it and you can act on it. So to revitalize your company, you need to look at only 3 things. And then the 10 coaching steps I'm going to coach you through are focused on these 3 things: customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and cash flow. If you master these 3 things as a business owner, you are fine, you are good to go. And then I also dare say that if you're doing anything else that is not related to these 3 things, if there are daily activities you are doing in your company right now that's not contributing to customer satisfaction, that's not contributing to employee satisfaction, that is not contributing to cash flow, you need to cut it off. You need to cut it off because you need to focus on profit producing activities only. Excellent. Yes, excellent. I can see that in the comment section. Timmy Prayer, Scott Evans, thank you for joining us. Tell us what country you are joining. Yes, Njidek, I can see that you've written all 3. So it doesn't matter the size of your business. It doesn't even matter if you're the only one in that business. These are the 3 measures you should be focusing on. Now, therefore, recovery formula. This is the way I sum it up. Everything. If you don't remember everything, remember this one. Recovery is equal to cash generation. That's the formula. Type it in the comment section. Recovery equals cash generation. Recovery equals cash generation. Because the reason many of your businesses are struggling, the reason all our businesses struggle, the core reason is that we're running out of cash. Remember, we said that at the beginning. Businesses begin to stagnate when you start running out of cash. Because when you're running out of cash, you are not able to pay your obligations. You're not able to pay suppliers. The other day, I learned about someone who does poultry farming. And then he does not have the cash to buy the feed for the poultry. He ran out of cash. So the birds are starving. In fact, I overheard him say that he can't even go to the poultry because the birds, when the birds see him, they will think he's bringing feed, but he had no money. So you see how businesses die when there is no cash. So for that individual who has that poultry, another person has also run into that situation. He has a fish farm, and then he ran out of money. Another person also ran into that situation that I know. He does piggery. So it looks to me like people who are involved in the farming business seem to have this big challenge, especially in animal farming, animal husbandry. They seem to have it. They run out of money, they can't buy feed. And then it's a terrible situation, in their case, because these things need to feed and then they start dying. Therefore, whether it is a piggery or it's an IT firm or is a bucateria, a restaurant, or whatever it is, your recovery plan should focus on generating cash. So everyone here tonight, I want you to sleep thinking about cash generation. So all the 10 steps I'm going to take you through right now will essentially focus on cash generation, because you can't recover unless you inject new cash into your business, whether that cash is coming in the form of equity or debt, or it's coming, which is my preference, in the form of sales. You're selling more, you generate sales, you generate cash internally, also from your operations. That one is easier, because taking debt in this part of the world, if it's in America where you have single digit interest, it's a different thing, because if your business is doing a margin of 15% and then you're taking a loan from the bank at 3% or 4% or 5% or even 7%, that is fantastic. But in our country here, the lending rate, I don't even know what it is now. Njideka, can you type in the comment section, tell us what the percentage is right now? And then in your different countries, I know that there was a time it was 35% in Ghana. In Nigeria, it used to be, is it 25%, 30%? I don't know, 30%, I don't know what it is right now. And then if you have the current figure of inflation in your country, please type your country and type the inflation figure. So doing that might be a challenge in some countries, but in places where you have single digit borrowing and then enabling environment, you can do it. You can use that to pump cash into your business. But in our part of the world here, I prefer to do sales and marketing engineering, to sort of generate cash internally. Okay, so good. Now, so there are 10 questions that you should take note of to recover your business. Now, all these 10 questions I'm going to take you through are building on the things that we had already spoken about, that these are the things that cause businesses to stagnate. So all these 10 things, we do it. And at the end of it, in each of the 10 questions, I'm going to give you a focus question that you can work with. You go back to this presentation when we are done, and over time I will generate a worksheet that you and your team can use and sit down and walk through it. But I want to make it as simple as possible for you to actually sit down with your journal or sit down with your team to walk through each of these 10 questions I'm going to give you. Okay, Adam says it's still around 30% in Ghana. Yes, I knew that a couple of years ago it was 35%. So that's high, Adam. That's very high. Lawson says inflation rate as of today in Nigeria is 33.4%. All right. So I'm not a finance expert, but inflation is 33%, and then you are borrowing at 30%. That is a recipe for financial disaster, unless you are running a retail business where you are able to turn over this money several times within the month, because you have FMCGs, fast moving consumer goods. But if you are involved in services, in construction, real estate, and then you are taking loan at 30% with inflation, or you are manufacturing and you are taking loan at 30% with inflation of 33%, as a layman, unless your returns, you are making at least 80, 100 or 150%, you can't pay back that loan. And this is the reason many Nigerian companies, it might be the same thing in Ghana. See, Ghana is my second country. And I have an office in Ghana. I have a company in Ghana, consulting company. So if that's why many businesses are literally working for the banks. Many small businesses are literally working for the banks because you can't pay that back. If you're borrowing at 30 and inflation is 33%, and then you're making a margin of 25%, how in the world are you going to pay back that loan? All right, so the question number one in recovering your business, we have now entered into what is missing in your small business, and then what can you do about it. Number one to ask yourself is, what are you learning about yourself in all this? In all the things that your business is going through right now, the challenges, the obstacles in your business, first of all, start with yourself. Because the truth is, you can never build a business that is bigger than you. You are always going to be the limiting factor in your business. And this is why very smart people, smart business owners, usually insist on recruiting people who are more knowledgeable than them. Because you see, otherwise you're going to be the what they call it in chemistry, limiting factor of your business. And then you might not know that you're the problem of your business until you sit back to actually ask yourself questions, self-awareness questions like, how do I lead? How do I show up in the world? How do people perceive me? I remember, Christ asking his disciples and people around him, so who do men say that I am? Because if you don't reflect yourself in the mirror, you wouldn't even know. You won't know your blind spots. So this is supposed to help you to discover your blind spots as a business owner, because your blind spots are hurting your business, the things you don't know about how you actually show up in the world. I remember, I do this often, and I remember in the early parts of my marriage, and then myself as a coach, coaching myself, doing this same self-awareness exercise, and I do it a lot. And I discovered I had issues with patience. I was very, very impatient. And then there was a time I did this. I discovered that I tended to react, sometimes overreact, like when trolls come to my social media page and then say things, So by being aware of what's going on in my own head, being aware of how I respond to challenges and obstacles helps me. Because when you do this exercise, you will find as a leader, maybe the way that you have been treating your employees may have been contributing to their low productivity. So the question I want you to work on is, in what ways might your leadership style be contributing to the current challenges in your business? Some of you may have worked under a boss. You might have worked under a boss who, whenever he entered the room, everywhere went cold. You people were tense and things like that. If you have worked with that kind of boss, write it down. But do you know that many of those people do not know? Yeah, thank you, Adam. It's self-introspection. So many of these people do not even know that they are like that because they never sit back to ask the questions. Okay, so that's question number one. What are you learning about yourself? Please write it down in your journal and also write it down in the chat so that you don't forget it. Number one is, what are you learning about yourself? Because you might actually be the problem in your business. You might be the one slowing down and stagnating your business. The second question that I want to coach you through is, ask yourself, why isn't your business growing despite your effort? Because this is a huge problem. You started this business 10 years ago, 16 years ago, even if it's 5 years ago, and the business has not taken off in 5 years. The business still hasn't taken off in 10 years. In 15 years, you haven't even started paying tax because your revenue has not even gone to the radar. Like in Nigeria, I don't know about Ghana, South Africa, and all these other countries here, the Gambia. Malik is from the Gambia, I believe. So your revenue has not even hit a limit to start paying tax. And I tell you, it's important that you start paying taxes. But taxes are very fantastic because when I started paying taxes and I had an auditor, it changed my business significantly. How did it do it? because it forced structure, it forced systems, it forced financial accountability that I'm going to talk about. Because many of you here, you are stagnating because you don't have that financial accountability. We'll talk about that later. And so your business money is the same as your pocket money. It's the same as your house money. How can you grow? Your business cannot. But by the time you start paying taxes and then you come under the radar of the regulatory bodies, you will be forced and disciplined immediately to be a bit more. So why isn't your business growing? 7 years, 10 years, you started it as a side hustle. 12 years is still a side hustle. So that's one thing you need to ask yourself. And then if you ask yourself this question, if you sit down with your journal and ask this question, you'll be amazed the answers that will come. You've got to ask yourself, what is missing? Why isn't it growing? Even though I'm putting, every day you wake up in the morning, you're off to your office, or every day you're doing content, you're doing all kinds of things, activities. But at the end of it, the business is still not doing well. So you have to ask yourself that question. And then there are common business pitfalls, when you ask this question. So you have to beam your searchlight on some of the areas, like your marketing, like your cash flow, like your lack of customer focus. It might also be that your business is not growing despite your effort because you're focusing on the wrong things. Okay, and then, or because your business model is not aligned with the market demand. The market wants something else, you're giving them something else. So the questions I want you to ask yourself is, what assumptions are you making about your business that might be preventing it from growing? You have to check your assumptions, check how you're looking at your business, because until you change the way you look at your business won't change. So ask yourself, why isn't my business growing even though I'm putting so much effort? It's like the saying of MK Abiola. He was a politician, very wise man, couple of years back. He said, he was talking about, there was a military junta in Nigeria at the time who wanted to transit to civilian government, but everybody perceived that he really didn't want to go. That military dictator didn't really want to go. His name was Babangida. So so he started this bogus military to civilian route transition program, spent billions of dollars, of those days. And of course, he didn't want to go. So this gentleman said that Babangida's transition program was an elephant that gave birth to a mouse. So does your business feel like that sometimes? You're putting in, you are eating like an elephant, but the business is giving birth to a mouse. So that's a question you need to ask. Question number 3. By the way, are you losing the passion that once drove your business? Because another reason that your business is stagnating is that you're no longer passionate about it. Maybe in the process of, you were doing the poultry thing, and then, or you were doing a restaurant business, and then one day, one of your friends just comes and says, Forex trading. There's something called Forex trading. Oh, I put $20 and it became $1,000 in 2 days. Then you abandon your business, and then your new passion is Forex trading, or your new passion is sport betting and things like that. So if you're losing that passion, your business is going to stagnate. So the question is, what specific aspects of your business no longer excite you, and why? That's what I want you to write. All these questions, I want you to take your journal, take out 10 pages, and then brainstorm on these questions. By the time you finish, I'm telling you, your business will come alive. Because if you are losing passion for the business, you're burning out, you don't have motivation, then that business is not going to survive, because your passion is the energy that drives it. So one thing you can also do if you find yourself losing passion is to revisit your vision board. Why did you start this business in the first instance? What was the purpose? What was the mission? Revisit it and see if that can rekindle the hope again. Question number 4, and write it down. Where are the fatal flaws in your business model? Remember, your business model, I have taught you that your business model includes 3 things. Number 1, how you create value. Number 2, how you deliver the value. And number 3, how you capture the value. So your business, your entire business model involves these 3 things. So I need you to analyze the inefficiencies in your revenue. Where are you leaving money on the table? Okay, where are you losing money consistently? That's important. Sit down. If you sit down even with your team and ask that question, why are we losing money in our business? You will be amazed. You will find out. Write it down where you're losing money in the business. Where are your daily activities aligned with your business goals? Because you lose money when you become distracted. You lose money anytime customer walks into your business and then goes out without buying. That is how you're losing money. So maybe you're running a pharmacy retail. Then somebody comes in and asks for a particular drug and it is not available. That's on Monday. Tuesday, another person comes in, or the person comes back, asks for another drug, it's not available. Wednesday, people come in, they ask for another drug, it's not available. Very soon, they will know you as the not available pharmacy store. And they will stop coming there, and you are losing money there. So do you see how it works? So you have to look at the fatal flaws. Are you losing money in the way you are developing your products and services? Are you losing money in the way you are communicating with your customers and in the way you are treating them? Are you losing money because your equipment breaks down? Maybe you run a manufacturing plant and then it breaks down, and then for 2 weeks you're still looking for spare parts and you can't get it, and then customers are waiting. Are you losing money because you can't get the raw materials that you need on time, and then you deliver late, and then people... So you have to sit down, make a list of all these things. Now, are you getting value so far? Is this making sense? Type in the comment section. Is this valuable? Is this making sense? Are you connecting to this? Is this down to earth? Type in the chat, down to earth, if it's down to earth, because I don't want to sound academic. I know I teach in business schools, and I don't want to use, during these coaching sessions, I don't want to use business school lingo and all those terminologies. I want you to connect with it live. Where are the flaws in your business? Just ask yourself, where is your business losing money? Okay, and then make a list of all those things. The 5th question that I want you to answer is, why are your customers leaving and not returning? This is going to give you a clue to how you have to revitalize your business. Remember, we are talking about revitalizing your business. This is one question that will help you, because remember, we started by saying that the customer is your business. Therefore, if your customers are leaving and they are not returning, you're losing business. And how do you revitalize your business? By finding out why they are leaving and then addressing it. And then usually there are 2 things that make customers leave and not come back. Number 1 is lack of perceived value. Okay, some of you have been coming since day 1 for this because you are getting value. The other reason that customers leave your business, negative experiences, serious negative experiences. I ordered dried fish from my customer in Akwa Ibom to bring it down to Lagos. That thing was supposed to have arrived like on Thursday. I didn't get it till Monday. And then nobody said, I'm sorry. Everyone I called, they were actually blaming me, the customer. They didn't call me. I was calling them. They said the vehicle broke down. The vehicle broke down on the way, that they will call me. They didn't call me. The next day I called, is my fish here now? This is food material. You don't want to keep it. They didn't call. The next day they didn't call. I was the one calling. At the end of it, nobody apologized. That transport company, nobody apologized. And they cut the phone on me when I was laying my frustration. You know, terrible, terrible. Do you think I will ever use them again? And this is what's happening to your own business. This is what's happening to your business. If people have negative experiences, they won't come back. So you have to see that. And then sometimes if you have employees, it may not even be you. It might be your employees. You were not there in the store or in the office when your employee treated a customer terribly, and then you don't even know about it. And so that customer never comes back. So the question I want you to brainstorm is, what feedback have you received from your customers about their experiences and how you acted on it? Do you act defensively? You start defending your business, or do you say, we are very sorry, we will make this up for you, this will not happen again? Then the sixth question I want you to work on with your team is on your marketing strategy. Is your marketing effective? It shocks me how many businesses in this part of the world that are not marketing. And you know, it's actually recommended that your marketing be anywhere between 15 to 25% of your annual budget. In fact, if you are expecting to make 1 billion naira, or let's say 1 million cedis, if you're expecting to make 5 million cedis in the year, you should budget at least 1 million cedis for marketing. But how many businesses do it? But you see, there's a direct connection because your marketing is your primary revenue generating activity. So when you are not carrying out the very activity that brings in revenue to your company, how in the world are you going to survive? Many people have no idea what marketing is, and they don't even know the difference between marketing and sales. Marketing is a strategy. If your marketing is good, sales becomes easy. If your marketing is poor, sales becomes very, very hard. So I need you to ask yourself, which marketing efforts have yielded the highest engagement? What have you learned from them? What are you going to do? What is your social media strategy like? Because literally everybody, literally all the customers you're dealing with are on social media. Do you have even an active marketing funnel where you are constantly generating leads at the top of your funnel and then converting them? Do you have a system for generating leads and then converting them? Do you have a system to make people know your business? Your business is not even visible. You don't have a visibility strategy. They've got to know your business. They've got to know and trust you so that they can do business with you. Okay? Is this making sense? Type makes sense. Type makes sense. Okay. So the seventh question I want you to work on in your business recovery plan, your business revitalization plan, is how are you managing cash flow? Remember, I've been emphasizing cash flow. I remember when we started with Jack Welch quotes, there are 3 things to focus on, and I want everybody in this session to work out with those 3 things at your fingertips: customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, and cash flow. So how are you managing cash flow to ensure that you never run out of cash? Like this poultry farmer who has run out of cash too. Those birds are going to die. You see, because they are not if they were in the free-ranging environment, they will be out there, picking worms and things to eat. But this is a poultry. They are going to die off because he ran out of cash to feed the chicken. So how are you making sure that you don't run out of cash? All right. Are you monitoring it regularly? What cost-cutting measures can improve your accounts receivable processes? Some of us have done businesses, especially some of us in services, and then they paid you a part of it, and then to recover the remaining part is just so difficult. And so you find people who have been owing your business for 1 month, for 6 months. It's affecting the cash flow in your business. All right, so you need to work on that. Question number 8, how can you optimize your workforce? Because you see, um, if you don't have the right people, you don't have a business. So it takes us back to those 3 factors: customer satisfaction, employee satisfaction, cash flow. If you don't have the right people, you can confirm. If you're a business owner and you're employing people, you can confirm in the comment section, that the greatest source of frustration for every business owner is the employee. He is always directly or indirectly employee problem. You have employees who don't take initiative. They do not do things until you tell them to do it. They do not take initiative. How frustrating can that be? And then you are telling these people, listen, I don't know, that's why I employed you. But then they are there waiting to be told what to do. Very frustrating. And then it's even worse, when you have employees that you cannot trust. So having the right people is critical. And if you don't have the right people, many of us don't like, including me, we find it very difficult in this part of the world to fire. But you see, you have to learn not only how to hire, but you also need to learn how to fire. It's so important. Because if you have unproductive team, and then you have people who have become principalities in your company, they are not producing anything, then when people come in, they are discouraging them, and then they have very terrible work attitude, and the whole place is so toxic. You can't grow. You've got to get rid of them. Okay? So the question I want you to ask yourself there is, which tasks are your team consistently struggling with? That can give you an idea about what to hire or what to outsource. Number 9, question I want you to work on. Is your product or service still relevant? Are you still selling products that nobody wants? Okay? If your products and services stagnate, your business naturally stagnates. Okay? So the question I want you to ask is, what are the recent industry trends, customer feedback that suggests that you need to innovate or pivot? Pivoting means that you are totally, just like the word pivot, you are turning in a different direction. So that's what it means. So it could be that you have been involved in services like coaching, but then you find that that's no longer working, and then you now pivot. You decide, okay, you are going into product business. You're going from service business to pivot into product business. So you need to ask yourself this question, because if customer demand for your products and services have gone down, then you need to think about what next, because you cannot force a hen to urinate. So many of us are running businesses that people are no longer buying, the products are not moving. You have to pivot or to innovate. And then finally, and most importantly, are you making the right decisions for your business? So that's a question I need you to work on. You cannot revitalize your business that is stagnating until you sit down and reflect on your decision making. And what I strongly recommend for this is to consider external advice. Go for coaching. A business owner that does not have a coach is not serious yet, because there's no way you will hit certain revenue figure without coaching. It's not possible. All the Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies have coaches. How did I know? When I did my executive coaching certification in Florida, Sarasota in Florida, many of the coaches, who were there, and then the gentleman who trained us was working with some of these top coaches, top business owners, and then they were paying as much as $150, $250, $300, $500,000 for coaching every single year for their top executives. So if they need it, how much more you? And many of us never spend. It's impossible to grow your business beyond a certain level without coaching. There are many things you can't find in Google. And there are many things you can't find from free things. So it is important. Consider external help. As a business owner, Mark Zuckerberg had a coach, still has. I think there was a woman who coached him at the early stages of his business. Do you have a functional board of directors? Or, even if it's not board of directors, advisory board that you bounce off ideas that hold you accountable? Okay? Because if you don't do this, you'll find that your decisions tend to focus on non-strategic tasks. And part of the key functions of the board, because I train board and I do board retreats. I have one coming up in a couple of days. One of the top functions of the board, apart from their fiduciary relationships, is deciding the strategic decision of the strategic direction of the organization. But if you are the only one, you're living in your own head and things like that, you won't even know, because nobody is holding you accountable. So if you just wake up today and say, okay, let's start a branch here, you start. No strategic planning or basis underpinning of that decision. You just wake up, you get to the office, you take decisions, bam, 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 bam. Nobody challenges you because you are the boss. Your business can survive that. Okay, so reflect on your decision making and then the impact of your decision making style. All right, so these are the 10 questions, 10 templates I want you to go through to help you to revitalize your business. Yes, Michael Chukwu says it is impossible to grow your business to a certain net worth without a coach. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. My most important investments have been on coaches, because again, a coach who doesn't have a coach is not a good coach. You must be coached. Recently, I was asking people online, and people really didn't know how powerful that thing was. I said, how can you charge someone $10,000 and then you've never paid anybody $10,000 for coaching? I found it difficult to charge $10,000 until I paid several coaches $10,000 myself, and then most of them were American. And then I have Nigerian coaches. I want to do something, and then I call them. You know, one of them that's very popular on Facebook. Some of you will know Chioma Ifanyeze. You know, she's doing amazing things, and she knows things that I don't know. So I just called her up. I said, Chioma, how much is your session? And brother, I want to book a couple of sessions with you. She told me, she mentioned, I didn't haggle. She just said, this is the amount. I said, send me your account number. I wired her the money. And then we had a couple of sessions. And I tell you, it was worth it, because what your coach would tell you in 1 hour, you won't get it in business school in 3-5 years. You may never even get it, because there are nuances you don't see in textbook. There are nuances, you know, to this thing. So one of the quickest things you can do to revitalize your business is to pay a coach to take you through these practical templates. Like, all this is great information. You can do it yourself by implementing it, or you can actually get help to say, all right, come work with us to implement these things and then set our business back on its feet and revitalize it. All right, so this is where we are going to pack it for tonight. We will continue the same time tomorrow. So just set your calendar, 8 p.m. GMT +1 every single day. I'll be with you here. And remember the 3 things that we are working on. Number 1, to develop financial skills that go beyond all the hype and all the get rich quick things and all the nonsense that people are posting on Facebook and on social media about getting rich. All those things do not work. You might make quick money, but if you want to be wealthy, it takes time. I have an 84-year-old mentor. He did not become rich overnight. Warren Buffett didn't become the person he did until he was in his mid-60s. These things are there to research. The average time, most of the world wealthiest people, I studied it myself. And then I remember Jack Ma saying something like that a couple of years ago. It took all these people, whether you were talking about the late Steve Jobs or the Microsoft guy or Jeff Bezos or Jack Ma or all these people, average of 30, 35 years. Warren Buffett's one even took long. He took long, and all he did was one thing: investing. So give yourself time, give yourself space, give yourself wisdom, skills, get information to make it happen. Stop looking for get rich quick thing. It doesn't work. Follow the process, follow the things I'm sharing with you, because I tried all those things. Forex, because I wanted to hit some pips and then in one day make $25,000. All those things never work. But when you actually sit down and learn, you can build wealth that is sustainable and that you can pass on to the next generation. So I'll see you same time tomorrow. Please share this as soon as we round off. Please share this video of the live. Let it reach more people and let it help much more people. Share with your friends, with your network, with people, and then invite them. Same time, 8 p.m. tomorrow, and I'll see you there. Whatever happens, keep showing up, because you never know what's coming your way next.